Hey, what's up guys, Godstatus here. So today we're going to be using the Hamr. If you guys don't know, this was the gun that I got the world record kills with, 210 in one game. I also have gotten a few of my higher ones, like 160 plus kills with this gun. So it's definitely one of the best guns in my opinion, as far as just overall usability. I don't think it's overpowered by any means, because there's a lot of guns better than it now. But as far as LMGs, this has always been my top ranked one, because of how accurate it is, because it does 4 shots to the body, has a decent fire rate, the reload isn't that bad. It overall just holds a really solid spot, and it doesn't have many downsides to it. The best way I can kind of describe it is as a 50 round AR, because for most ARs you're looking for that 4 shot to the body all ranges, the decent accuracy, and like the decent reload and everything. The only downside truly to this gun is its movement speed, which any LMG gets that downside. So if that's the only downside I can really find, I consider that top tier in my book. It's definitely something that, like I said, has always been considered high tier for me, especially back in like CPFL, which was the original competitive league. The Hamr was considered kind of like a crutch gun, where if you used it, you weren't that good at the game and you needed that gun to do good. That's basically what it came down to. It's always been kind of like that in my eyes, so I kind of have a biased opinion towards it, and everyone can make their own opinion about this gun if they want, blah blah blah, but this is definitely something that I will always hold in high regard, and it hasn't been nerfed, and I don't think it ever really will need a nerf, which is one good thing about it. So people that get used to the gun and people who end up maining the gun don't really ever have to worry about switching up, because it's not in the point where it's considered overpowered by anyone. It's definitely considered strong, and it's definitely considered one of the top LMGs, but I have witnessed a lot of people say that this gun's like terrible, blah blah blah, which I just don't understand how you could consider this gun terrible. The amount of accuracy it has, the amount of damage it has, everything like that, there's nothing that really goes wrong with this. Seeing people say like this gun's terrible, like I hear people saying this gun is terrible in comparison to like the RPK and stuff, but what does the RPK do other than do a little bit more damage and has slightly worse recoil? So I don't see how this gun would be terrible in comparison. I could see you having your own opinion and being like, oh, blah blah blah, like it's better because it does more damage. Like sure, it's a better CQC LMG, that's perfectly fine to say, but I don't see how it's considered better in all senses. Because like, look, if I lay down right here and full auto this gun, there is nary a single bit of recoil. Like the gun doesn't budge. So that's kind of what sets it above everything for me, is that there is almost no recoil, and there basically isn't ever really going to be a change to this gun, because it doesn't hit that point where a lot of people consider it overpowered. And that's one thing I like. It's not something that you can pick up and you have to worry about it being nerfed or changed in a week, because it more than likely won't be. And this is definitely a gun that I would recommend to anyone, and especially if you like LMGs, pick up this gun and give it a try. Wow, it just got destroyed. But pick up this gun, give it a try, and see how you like it. Compared to the RPK, compared to things like that, this will always rank above the RPK in my eyes. And like I said, my opinion is my opinion. You can make your own. You can consider the RPK better. That's fine. I'm not stating it as fact as it being the best LMG. In my eyes, it is though. I don't see a reason to use another LMG, and I don't really see the reason to ever try to switch up, because there's never really gonna be a reason to switch up. As of right now, like I said, this gun has been one of the guns that I've used for some of my highest kill games that I've ever gotten, or even the world record kills that probably won't ever be beaten at 210 was with this gun. So it's something that is kind of crazy, and it's something that hopefully the gun does stay how it always is, because like I said, it doesn't push to that point of overpowered. I thought that guy moved. It's just perfectly good in its own sense, and like I said, it's basically a 50 round AR, and you could say that's overpowered in a sense, but there are a lot of guns worse than that, such as the AK-12BR. Even though the FAL's recoil got changed a decent bit, the FAL is still much stronger than this gun. A lot of guns are much stronger, but this hits a fine balance of accuracy and damage, and that's really what you need. Right now we're going 35-7. We're not doing anything insane. There is a few people in here who are a bit better at the game, so I'm not playing like some terrible lobby or anything, but still holding my own. Still, ooh, nice nade, man. Still holding my own, still doing just fine. And this is what it's all about. Really is not much I can ever say bad about this gun. It's the only reason I don't really like using it is because I'm more of a mobile player. I like the G36 and stuff because it does have that decent damage, it does have that decent accuracy, the reload speed, everything. It comes into a decent balance, and you keep your movement speed. Being a mobile player like myself, movement speed does come into play quite a bit, so that kind of throws me off of wanting to use LMGs. And that's one thing that truly, like, if I use a slower gun like this, it really does affect my playstyle, and I will do kind of iffy with it. You have to adjust your playstyle to the guns you're using, and I really just don't like playing more slow. And like a lot of times I'll die because I take my knife out just to move a bit quicker. And I even do that with G36, but it happens a lot more with LMGs. So it's one thing that I kind of have to pay attention to, and that's one thing you might have to adjust to as well. If you like being able to move around fast and get from point A to point B quickly, it's definitely something to look into. And maybe that just might be LMGs just aren't your playstyle at all then. And that's perfectly fine. But if you do have the level for this, I would kind of recommend buying it. It's one of the guns that, in all honesty, if I made a new account and I had the credits to, I'd probably buy. So I would say I would recommend buying it. It is something that kind of you got to take a little bit to get used to. Like I said, the movement speed and everything. It's not for everyone. Not everyone likes the slower movement speed. Not everyone likes the slower reload, things like that. But once used to it, it is something that is very deadly. And it's something that I will probably always stand by. 18 HP feels bad. Right now, 9 minutes left. We have, what, 50 kills. So we're a little behind on kills, actually a decent bit behind on kills, but this isn't the most active lobby ever, and like I said, these aren't like the worst players ever, so we're not going to be pulling as high of kills, but we should be able to easily pull over 100 still, and I'm happy with that. That's fine with me. Going over 100 is a-okay in my book, and that's really all I aim for. So as long as it's 100, I am perfectly happy, and I am happy with uploading the gameplay. Oh no, I'm going to end up getting sniped here. This ain't good. Oh no, I ran out of ammo. Run! Woo! This guy's also using the hammer back there. I'm just going to toss a nade and hopefully hit him rather than trying to gunfight that while they have people sniping at us. Just really wouldn't be worth it for me. Let's move around. Let's get on top of this building and see if we can kind of throw them off some. Oh, okay. I didn't mean to vault right there, but it works. Got that. Oh, I didn't get the assist, counts as kill. Feels bad. Bro, the accuracy on this gun will never get old to me. It's one of the things that always, like, stands out. And if you look at most of the overpowered guns nowadays, accuracy is what matters. This is like my 4th time recording it, so I don't know if I've gone over this part, but I'm sorry if I did. But accuracy is what matters in considering a gun overpowered nowadays. Most of the overpowered guns, minus, like, the M231, if you want to consider that overpowered, even though it has literally, like, the worst recoil in the game. Everything but the M231 that is considered overpowered, all has a really good recoil, because you can have an extremely high damage gun, but if you're extremely high damage but you can't hit half your shots just because of the recoil, is the gun really that good? So when you combine all this, you get a nice balance to the point where it isn't too strong, because it's not like 2-shotting close range or anything like that, and it's also not like 2-shotting long range, but it hits that perfect balance. And the way I used to describe this really was like old G36 before the accuracy nerfs, and then just had 50 bullets. So it was always considered stronger because it had that extra ammo and everything, but at the end of the day, it is one of the strongest LMGs in my opinion. Basically the strongest. I don't think there will ever be an LMG that comes out that would kind of sway my opinion on this, just because it's been with me for so long and there hasn't been anything that has compared in my eyes. I have used the other LMGs quite a bit, or well, not quite a bit, but I've used all of them at least a little bit, and none of them really seem to compare ever. I don't think that the RPK has as great as accuracy as people seem to make it out to be. It does have the higher damage, but the accuracy doesn't really come into play and kind of compare to the RPK in my eyes. I also don't think that the overall like reloads of some guns, I mean, I don't really know the reloads of most LMGs. I know like the MG3 has an insane reload, blah blah blah, but that's one of the reasons like I wouldn't use the LMG. It has that insane reload. It isn't worth having all that time. Oh, I'm gonna end up dying here because I have to reload the hammer. No, get out of here. Ooh, okay, this guy's under me. Thank God it's not super long reload. We are golden. We're still alive somehow. I definitely expected to die there. There's another guy right here on hill. Oh, hello. I didn't expect him to jump up. 81 and 14, 6 minutes left. So if we went at 10 kills per minute, this could be a 140 kill game. Ain't bad. A lot of people like dream of having that. So definitely a high standard kill game. And it's not something that you see constantly, so definitely kind of helps show my point of how strong this gun truly is. Obviously, using this gun doesn't mean you're instantly going to get a 140 kill game, blah blah blah, but it can show how strong this gun really is, that I'm able to play, do a full commentary, focus on my commentating, and still do insanely good. And I know people are like, oh, just because you're good at the game, you'll do good with any gun. And yeah, that's true in a sense, but at the end of the day, I'm still more focused on my commentary than I really am my gameplay. And that's kind of what I'm trying to show, that I'm focused on something else and I'm still able to do this good, which is why this gun is as good as it, like I'm saying it is, or as good as people make it out to be. If you have to put this little bit of focus into it, and you have to put this little effort into like aiming and controlling your recoil, insanely good gun. Which is why, like I said, accuracy kind of reigns king as of lately. If you have a gun that's high damage but bad accuracy, people won't consider it OP. Like I said, the Fowl's accuracy got nerfed. It's not considered as strong as it was. It isn't really something to complain about now, because most people won't be able to control it. And that's really all that matters. As long as people struggle like that, that's where something lacks, and that's where something becomes more balanced. And that's one thing I'm happy about, is that the Scar Hammer never really had to get nerfed, because the damage and everything stayed in a good position. And that's what really kind of holds this true for me. And like I said, you don't have to worry about this gun getting nerfed or getting changed constantly, because chances are it won't. there's a very little chance that this gun ever really will be changed. So if you do pick this gun up, you do get accustomed to it, and you do like it, you can use this gun for a long time, and you won't really ever have to adjust. And that's kind of really good in my opinion, because for someone like me who's been using the G36 for years, the amount of changes it goes through, you have to keep adjusting, you have to find new attachments, it'll never feel the same, and it'll never be the gun that you originally used. So, definitely something worth picking up, definitely something worth getting, and it's probably one of the best guns that I could recommend if you were trying to learn how to play at a slower pace, and trying to learn, you know, kind of angles and map positions and choke points. Really worth getting. Anyways, I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.